How you doing, guys? Have you ever gotten into an argument with somebody that kept arguing and arguing, yet they weren't hearing a word that you were saying? And the more that they had said, they actually proved your point without you saying a word? This is what happens in the comments section many times. I had uploaded a video on November 26, what to expect when you outgrow Jehovah's Witnesses. One of the first things I pointed out that they will say to you is, who in the congregation offended you? Well, I'd received a comment on that video a couple days ago. At first, I wasn't sure if it was somebody just being sarcastic or if it was a legit comment. But it was from Gail McLaughlin, where it says, "It is not Jehovah God that offended you. It is imperfect people whom you have chosen to use their free will in a way that is not good that offended you." Exactly the point that I had made in that video. This is why it's important, if Jehovah's Witnesses are going to comment on a video, that they watch the content first rather than make total fools of themselves. But I had received another comment on a more recent video just a couple of days ago from a John Paul C., where it says, "As a Jehovah's Witness who realizes not everything said by the governing body is true, I justify," now remember that word, "I justify preaching by the fact that Jesus said, 'Whoever isn't against me is for me.' And people's lives I speak, it is better to be a JW than not. I can't remember the last time I've heard of someone with their life put together perfectly that became a JW." Right there, he's admitting that Jehovah's Witnesses prey on injured people to lure them in. Otherwise, they wouldn't go in. But he also used the word justify, where he says he realizes not everything the governing body says is true, so you admit that they are wrong. The thing is, when somebody's wrong about things they're teaching, you have to question everything that they say. So you know they're wrong, which means that the organization is false, yet you stick around. Yet you use the word justify because you think you're preaching the good news door to door, house to house, so you justify it even though you may be preaching a false gospel. So by using the word justify, you acknowledge that the organization is wrong. Let's talk about the preaching work. Jehovah's Witnesses think that they are the ones spoken of in the Bible, going door to door preaching the good news of the incoming kingdom. But is that really the case? Granted, they use the good news of the kingdom to get their foot in the door. But once they've got somebody looped, it kind of changes. Now we go beyond what is written. Because from that point on, it's no longer preaching the good news, it's indoctrination. I haven't said a whole lot about the bite model, but this is where it comes into play. Now, the more and more you get reeled in by Jehovah's Witnesses, obviously, I've touched on this before, the first thing they will work on is your physical appearance, some people more than others. But the first thing they go after is your behavior. They like to call it the new personality, but all the new personality is amongst Jehovah's Witnesses is a more repressed version of yourself. See, every human has positive and negative traits. You need both of these traits in your life to make proper decisions. See, not all negative parts of your personality are bad, but they are necessary. See, with Jehovah's Witnesses, they limit your behavior, they like to control it, and they keep you under constant pressure. It's like a volcano that's ready to blow. You can only be a repressed person for so long before you explode or do yourself some personal damage. The next thing is the information control. In a world full of information, you are now limited. You're funneled in. Now, this is all funneling you into a little bubble. You get your information from that one source. Now, consider the governing body admits that they've been wrong. And in all honesty, if you backtrack throughout their history, everything they have said is wrong because they keep changing it. So you funneled this information from this one source that tomorrow could be wrong, that yesterday was wrong, that tomorrow will definitely change, with all the correct information all over the place. So now you know very, very little. Any conversation with any one of Jehovah's Witnesses can tell you how little they actually know. The most personal thing that any human has is their own personal thoughts. And this is something else that Watchtower likes to control. They want to control your thought. They want to keep your mind on Watchtower literature, on Watchtower thinking. Anything else of the world is impure. But the thing is, like everything else, you compress your thoughts and eventually you're going to explode, which leads me into the emotional control of Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, we all have emotions, but much like the behavior control, the information, and the thought, your emotions are now compressed. You are ready to explode. See, anytime somebody gets upset, that's a no-no. You have to keep this pasted smile on. So basically what you are now is being an indoctrinated JW drone, which is no good for anybody. To become part of this organization, why in the world would any organization have to control every aspect of your life? Now, this was something I noticed when I got in, because the thing is, they police each other. You've got people in your congregation that will now police you, trying to control your life when they can't even handle their own lives. Everybody needs something to believe in. And Jehovah's Witnesses want so badly to believe that what they have is the truth, which is understandable. But the thing is, even when they get those red flags, and they deep down inside know it isn't the truth, they deep down, they want to believe this is the truth. But consider one thing. It doesn't matter how badly you want to believe something is true, or how many of you want to believe it is true. All the belief in the world is not going to make it true. You can only go like this for so long. I found this out when I definitely wanted out, and I could see the anger and the rage in people. But this is why they get so angry when you make it clear that you want to leave. It's not the fact that you want to leave, it's the fact that you're leaving and they are still stuck there. For the most part, leaving an organization is somebody's own personal decision. They have no business pressuring you into trying to stay. The only thing they need to say is, okay, goodbye, have at it. But they don't. They will keep coming after you and keep pulling you back in, even if you don't want to be there. And frankly, I made that clear that I didn't want to be there. And deep down, you could see the rage in their eyes and the hatred in their eyes, which is why in the comments section, you get comments like this John Paul C. that will admit that they're wrong, that they know full well it's a false organization, and yet they still try to justify it, and they still try and bring you in. You can justify it all day long, but that just tells me you know it is false. I'd like to go a little bit further into this subject, but I'm kind of out of time today, guys. But I will talk to you later, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. You guys have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.